Welcome to the 6 months to six figures series of the Double Your Freelancing podcast. I'm your host, Zach Swinehart, and I'm here with Maia. We've got a cool cold opener for this episode today, which is that Instagram marketing works. Maia, this past week, she'll tell us soon, apparently closed 2 new clients and generated 3 new leads from her Instagram marketing. So that's pretty epic. That's a little taste of what you'll get today. So about the series, 6 months, 6 figure series, you will follow a specific freelancer, in this case, Maia, as I coach them from early stages to earning a 6-figure annual income, which comes out to $8,333 a month. And the challenge is basically see how quickly we can get Maia there, the goal being within 6 months. So we connect every week or two, and it follows a similar coaching format as the format we use in the DYF Accelerator community. So if you want coaching like this from me, you can totally get it. Just go to dyf.link/DYFA to learn more. So let's jump in. Maia, I had it down last week. We didn't even talk about doing Instagram marketing. I had it down last week that the goals were basically 1 hour max on your bare bones opt-in page. 2, starting to drive leads to it. 3, long-term-ish or mid-term, short-term goal would be 100 community, like VIP list, whatever we'd call it, people who are interested in joining leads. And it sounds like you did Instagram marketing for your services. So yeah, I guess how'd the week go? How'd the homework go? How's everything going?
I think I tabled the 111 list, like the wait list for my service, because I'm really thinking about it. Like after we talked last week and you were like, this is a whole nother business. I've been really thinking about it. And I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I want to like focus my time now that my business is going better, It's like I want to stick with what's
I think
working.
that's smart.
So yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
you've been trying to tell me sweetly. Like really. But I've decided to go really, really slow with that, build the resources for like very slowly. And yeah, I decided to go all in for blank page marketing because of what we talked last week. And what I did was like, okay, blank page, September, a blank page. Here we go. This is what we have planned. This week is handoff week. We handed off these 3 brand identities. I posted like the 3 brand identities. Then another day I was like, currently working on this, and I'm in this island, so it looks beautiful. And like the computer literally just doing like super, super scrappy, like taking pictures of my screen while I like move it, and a lot of answers, a lot of questions, even like not so much leads, but my friends, my designers were like, oh, what typeface is that? This is amazing. And I feel like it really came across very effortless, which I think really sells. And that's what I think my strategy is going to be. And also it's great because I kind of teach effortless social media. So it feels that is the whole thing is part of like my whole strategy. So it was really fun to
Right.
make, which is super important also. Super fun.
Cool. And how long did you invest into your social media marketing this week?
Like 3 hours. Really not that much.
Okay, cool. So given that this is going well, you're having success. So you said you closed 2 clients this week. Were they both, like what was the value of each client you closed?
1 Basecamp and 1 aligned strategy.
And what price for those?
Okay, Basecamp first time 2888 without blinking, pitching it in the clarity call, and I was like,
And you said 2,888?
First
Nice.
first
And that's
time.
dollars, yeah?
Yeah, I went for it. I said I'm gonna like I thought about it. I was like, no, I'm gonna give her 2444, And then I really thought, no, these are my prices. I have a team. These are my prices.
Yeah, nice.
And
Go you.
it felt really good. It felt really good. And aligned strategy was for 660.
Okay. Great. And what would you say? Well, I'm trying to think how to make the most of our time together today. I guess let's first talk about what you want to take out of today's session. So let's do that. Let's do the typical thing. What would you like to leave today with?
A bit of a marketing plan because I have exciting news. But yeah,
Okay,
a bit of a Zach's way marketing plan, like email, like real marketing,
Okay. let's hear your exciting news.
Well, 2 weeks ago, like 3 months ago, I did a line strategy when I was still doing playbook. I did a line strategy with a Pilates teacher, and she had a virtual assistant or like a I guess a community manager. And she was in the call. Her name is Luisa, and I gave like the playbook and everything. And then she, like, I saw her. She was so enthusiastic, even more than the client, and she was asking questions and everything. And we stayed in touch on Instagram. And 2 weeks ago, she messaged me, and she said, because I posted something about blank page and about like I think sustainable marketing was what I was like saying that day. And she said, I would love to work for blank page. Like, I've been really admiring your work and everything. And I was like, I'm not really like looking for someone, but let's give it a chance. And I met with her, and I was so surprised by the way that she taught me about social media. She's 22. And I always say I don't have the bandwidth to have a blank page Instagram, or to do TikTok or Behance even, or Pinterest. I would love to do some Pinterest, but I always thought I don't have the bandwidth. And I hired her. She's just going to do the whole thing. Like, I trust her,
Sick.
Incredible, because she was the one that told me like this really market. Like, I asked her a lot of things to see if she was a person that is willing to learn. She's also a designer, which is great. And I asked her like, okay, no, she told me like, yeah, okay, so I'll make the calendar on Instagram, on Notion. I can make the like template of how we're gonna work together, so we can do it my way. And I was like, yes, we can do it your way. And so I have a content creator, and like I know like a marketing department, pretty much a blank page that I'm not gonna
Cool.
run. So
That's great.
yeah.
Are you Well, okay, so this aligns nicely. So are you paying her by the hour, by the project? What's
By the
your
hour.
relationship with her? Okay. How much are you paying by the hour?
20.
Okay. So then, yeah, let's talk nuts and bolts then. So with your current marketing strategy, it seems like I don't have enough data in front of me, and maybe I don't know if you've been doing the audit, but like, how many hours you spent 3 hours this week? You generated a few leads, so it seems like basically what I want to get to is, I think any agency owner, when they know what their cost per lead is, they get a lot of power, a lot of like marketing power, a lot of leverage, that kind of thing. And I want to kind of find out what your cost per lead is with your current strategy and extrapolate what it might be with this new person's time. Do you have a guess of how many leads your current strategy generates from 3 hours a week on average?
I'd say, yeah, 2 inquiries. No, I'd say one, because some weeks is 0, some weeks is 2, or let's say 1 inquiry per week. But this week
Okay,
was
so 3
strange because there
hours.
was a lot. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's say 2.
How many posts? Okay. I'll say 1 to 2. And let's just actually say 1. Let's plan for worst case. So how many posts are created as a result of those 3 hours on average?
0 posts, all stories, but like 3 hours of my week. Normally 5 also sometimes.
But I mean, sorry, how many stories get created from those 3 hours?
You want the quantity? I don't know. It really depends, because it's like I also spend time doing the decks and the graphics for the story. So let's say like I don't have a number. I don't have a number. Sometimes it's a video. So I don't know how to answer it.
Well, maybe I'll rewind for a minute, because I'm maybe skipping something really important here, which is perhaps your social strategy is going to fundamentally change, because the way that you've been doing your reels has been very Maia-y, and presumably you're not going to be able to have this person just own that. They can maybe do things to speed it up, but you kind of can't keep doing it the same way. Is that right?
And I'm ready. But just for reference, we're gonna open an Instagram for blank page.
Okay.
So this is not gonna be my personal Instagram, but blank page.
Okay. So regarding the marketing plan, Are you wanting to, because like I don't know enough about social to really be able to weigh in on what to expect there. I would think that the challenging part about starting these new pages would be growing them. And if you're paying $20 an hour for this new person to be growing them, I don't know how many hours of this person's time, of Luisa's time, it's going to take before you get your first lead from one of these new channels. Do you have any estimates? Like, have you grown a channel yourself the way that she's planning to do it? What is your ballpark? What's your expectation?
This is new territory for me, like very, very new territory for me because I love social media. It's super easy for me, but I'm really looking for her to um yeah, have agency and just tell me like, hey Maya, I need a video of you doing this. Can you send it to me? And I'm like, okay. Like I want her to also, and this is something that we talk, I also want her to do the project management part of social media. I can do the overall ideation, the graphics, everything, but I want her to research. I want her to reach out to people for collaborations. Like this is her department. And I told her, you are up for a challenge. You
Okay.
are growing the department because I know she will hire someone and at some point.
So what do you think about this? Because you said you wanted to leave with a marketing plan. To me, the easiest way always to market stuff is to borrow other people's audiences, which we've talked a little bit about in the past. The thing that is usually the limitation for audience borrowing, like for newbies, is that you need a reputation, you need a brand, like you need to not be a nobody, because if you're a nobody, no one's going to want to partner with you because there's no guarantee you'll do a good job. But you're not a nobody now. You have some leverage and you have a bit of an audience. To me, it seems like maybe the safest and the highest ROI for the short-term way to leverage Luisa would be, instead of scaling your own social media from scratch, which is going to involve some financial risk and sort of sidetracking, what if you offered a totally managed, done for you service, like for your clients? Like if someone hires you for Basecamp, chances are they're invested pretty heavily into social media. And what if you were like, yo, you can get our quality of designs and totally hands off, and we'll just keep your social media going as it is without you having to touch it? Is that something you think people would be interested in? Is that something you're interested in offering? The reason I mention this is that if you do offer a service like that, it allows you to essentially guarantee that whatever you're paying Luisa, you can cover because you're getting paid more than you're paying her by your clients. Versus if you try to start this new channel, I don't know, you might sink 5 or 10 grand into it and not really have a lot to show for it.
That makes sense. I don't want to offer social media services yet because it's a
Okay.
very reactive job. Like I have a lot of friends that do community management for clients, and even though I wouldn't be doing it myself, I'd still like a client would like complain to me, and like I'm still the studio owner, so I don't want to have responsibility for anyone's social media. If I think people are really dramatic with their social media, so I don't want any drama.
All right. So quick sidebar for you, the listener. We have now switched to Zoom, as is our ritual at this point due to Maya's crappy internet. So Maya, you were starting to say you don't want to do social media management for clients because of the drama.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you don't think you could put some rule in place where it's like, yo, we only schedule posts out. We do not do them last minute. We don't make last minute changes. This is just how we operate.
There's so much money in that market, and I know I have so much creativity, and like I have so much to give in that market, but yeah, I don't know. I have resistance, and where I think that my services could be really cool is to do 1 month of social media worth of social media like in 1 week, and then we put everything on Notion, and then people can post it.
That's
But
cool.
what I was going to tell you, yeah, sorry, you
I said
you
that's
think
cool.
it's a good service?
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet, but I have it like in the back of my mind as an add-on that I haven't even pitched. But I might pitch it to someone and maybe say that Luisa can. I don't know. I also don't like. I'm not gonna hire her full time. Obviously, I'm just working with her like 8 hours maximum a week because I can't afford to have her not even part time yet. So I don't want to steal precious time from her with my clients. Like I want her for myself, which is dumb money wise. But I just know that she has so much to do.
I mean, you know better than me here. So, like, to me, the risk seems that if you're going to start a new social media channel from scratch, who knows how long it takes to build? I certainly don't,
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about social media. So, to me, it's just the risk that if you're burning like a couple $100 a week on something that's not producing results, that to me seems riskier than, like, for example, suppose you wanted to do a JV where you found somebody who is an influencer or like educator, course creator kind of person. Let's say that there's a course creator who teaches about social media. You could do an affiliate deal with them where they sell Basecamp, you give them a big commission, you fulfill a project, something like that. Like, the risk management on your side is so easy because you are not paying money unless you're earning money. Whereas if you're starting a channel totally from scratch, again, like, it would be an interesting experiment, especially if you do it in the way that I'm kind of approaching my agency from scratch experiment, where I'm saying, like, I'm going to document my progress, see how long it takes me to hit certain milestones. And now this is like a cool piece of content. So if you're like, we're starting a social media from scratch, totally from scratch, we're going to see how many hours of Luisa doing this it takes to actually get an ROI. And then now you can package that up as a service offering later to charge like 10 grand for to get it off the ground, whatever. So there are options. It's just, it kind of sticks out to me as maybe risky. But do you have any expectations at all about what your like amount of cash you have to put on the line before you'll get an answer one way or the other about whether or not it's working is?
I mean, honestly, I think that just from my Instagram, that is very engaged. I think already like 400, 500 people are just going to hop there, really, from
Mm.
5,000. I really think that they're going to hop there. And I am also encouraging my other two designers to bring people to the blank page Instagram. And I, as you, like, want to like document, like, it's my challenge. If I'm gonna help people with their like brands and social strategy, like, I need to grow my own channel from scratch. That's how I see it. Like, with or without Luisa, it was gonna happen. But she came to my life like an angel, really, to really show me that we need to do it. And what we've
Okay.
been working on the last week is on case studies. Like, I briefed every designer into a new case study, and we are just doing all the case studies of this year, which then is so easy to just repurpose into Pinterest, into Instagram. And we're going to just start with portfolio in the beginning, see how it goes.
Okay. Then maybe the cool way to do this, because it sounds like you want to do it either way. Maybe the cool way to do it would be start shooting podcasts like what you and I are doing now. Like, these aren't airing quite yet because I don't have the capacity to actually like edit and produce them right now. But nonetheless, once we do, we can just start scheduling them. I think it'd be really cool if you are like, I don't want to talk you out of this because I don't have the basis to do it. So if you feel good about it, what I would say is, first off, let's establish a stack of cash that you're willing to gamble with. So I would just off the top of my head
Like,
ask, are you, huh?
I like that. I like that.
So are you comfortable with, say, earmarking 2 grand? Like, do you have 2 grand you could light on fire somewhat happily for this experiment? I mean, no one's ever
One
happy to light two
brand.
grand on fire. What was that?
I have one brand. One.
What? Okay. So she has to make this get paid off within 50 hours of work. She has to generate essentially one client.
Wow. Possible. I believe
Do you
in
feel
it.
okay? Then yeah. So maybe what you do, if you use YNAB slash you need a budget, or whatever you use for budgeting. I don't think you do use YNAB. I'll show you it someday, but just mark $1,000. Like, if you use Mercury or something like that, create a digital account that you move that money to so that you know it's like your set aside money or whatever you want to do. But yeah, I would say set that money aside, just plan to light it on fire. And if it doesn't just get caught on fire, that's cool. But then also be thinking about how, imagine that this all works out. Like, that's, to me, this series we're doing, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get you to the level I want. So, I mean, with you, I know I will. But at the start, I didn't know for sure. But I did know that if I succeeded, it'd be a really fucking cool series. And so similarly, this whole growing a social media from scratch thing, if it works out, that'd be a really fucking cool series. So uh maybe that would be a cool way to do it, is that you guys do your own aligned, because I assume you're going to have to do like an aligned strategy with yourself to get her briefed. If you don't, you don't. But anything that's like strategic, I think it'd be cool if the two of you recorded your strategic conversations together, recorded your planning sessions together, basically like
I
recorded
love
any of
that.
your calls. I think that'd be really cool, and just frame them kind of like this, and then you can release them later.
Yeah, I really like that. It makes sense. Also she speaks Spanish, and I was thinking like there's so much good marketing in English, but in Spanish it's so cheesy and bad. So I think it would be amazing to record this and do it in Spanish and have it as a resource because all my positioning is for my English speaking people. So maybe the
Cool.
marketing is for Spanish speaking people.
I have no opinion about that, but it's a cool idea. It does seem like it would create twice as much work, but
Yeah, no, of course.
and something you could also do is like if she's going to kind of have a high level of ownership here and is in a position to kind of be like one of the faces of the company, you could even have parts of your calls. Like remember how I did that exercise with you to spearhead that service offering thingy where like I would interview the client, turn that into a video. You could have the two of you like on Riverside, and she could ask you certain questions about like how should I make my social media post for my business about blank or whatever, and you could like educate her, but then that is itself a piece of content for this new social media that she's running, and she could come to you with the things talked about. So there are a lot of really cool things you could do here that, again, it just comes back to, will you get an ROI? And that, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a lot to think about. I guess it's exciting, but it's also like that's why I've been postponing it for all my
Yeah.
life. I mean, for the year I've been just
One other idea that I want to drop, if you think this person has the right personality for it and the right level of skill, it might be smart thinking about giving them some level of ownership. So, for example, you I mean, the safest way for you to go about this would be that if they're going to just straight up own your socials, you could do something where like for every client they generate from these new social profiles, they get a commission, and
mm,
you don't pay them by the
more.
hour or something, or you could pay them a certain amount by the hour and a smaller commission. But having them have some skin in the game would be really smart. And if you are going to straight up pay them by the hour, maybe you tell her in advance, be like, yo, I'm marking $1,000 for this. So within 50 hours, ideally 30 of your time, we need you to generate at least one client. So what's the like best, most 80/20 impactful, gotta do it stuff that we need to prioritize to do that? So these are just some things to think about in the coming week, I guess.
I love the commission. I love the $1,000 only for this project. You gotta book one Basecamp client or two Align strategy. I love that.
Cool. So all this being said, what do you reckon? We can go more into marketing plan stuff later, but what do you reckon a good goal for the week? Oh, and here's the other little seed I want to drop into your brain. Uh, Also be thinking about if she's going to be owning all this other stuff, like I was showing you in the pre-interview, like I'm a big fan of content stacking where appropriate. So you have this email list, be thinking about how this content that she's creating can be either repurposed or like used as a template that is reshot in a different way for your newsletter or whatever. Because the next step I see for you is getting you into a more formalized thought leadership role so that you're posting thought leadership stuff on your website, to your newsletter, stuff like that, so that it's not just you're on one platform, but that you are actually, doing the typical thought leader thing. So if we can find a way to leverage Luisa's skills to not only manage social media, but also start getting you moving in that direction, that would be like a double whammy of awesomeness. So these are
Oh,
things to think about this week, I guess.
I love
Um,
that.
so with all that said, what do you reckon a good goal or focus for the next week would be with all this in mind?
I want to sit down and map out exactly what you said. How is it going to start in the newsletter, drip into Instagram Behance, and now, like, what is my social media plan? Like, I'm going to align strategize myself,
Hmm.
and I want to talk about it with you. I love that we always talk about what feels sustainable and what just feels like a good idea. So we can keep doing that next week. And my personal goal is to keep doing like 3 to 5 like um, high intensity but organic like blank page marketing and see where that gets me because it's really getting some momentum.
Cool. And maybe when you do that aligned strategy for yourself, like literally just record it or get Luisa on there with you and you guys collaboratively do it if you think you have that kind of personality. But it could be, since this is kind of the first step of this new project, it'd be really nice to capture it, even if you don't use
Mhm.
it.
I like that.
Cool. All right. Well, it was great chatting. Seems like a good time to end the episode. Yeah, is it? It's all right. I can
Yeah,
go to the other.
sure.
Yeah, sure. All right, cool. Well, with all that said, if you, the listener, enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, leave good reviews. Helps us create. I don't know why are you laughing so much? What did I say that was so ridiculous? It does seem like a good time to end the episode. It's a perfect time to end it.
Just nervous laugh, maybe.
Okay. Anyway, guys, as I was saying, like it, subscribe it, leave good reviews. Helps us make more of these. If you want to join the DYF Accelerator for coaching like this, it's at dyf.link/DYFA. And if you want to follow Maia, as of now, it's Instagram /@MaiaBen, but soon it's probably going to be @blank page or something or other like that. So we'll find out what it is next week when probably a couple weeks when she has this all set up. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Maia. See you next week.
Bye.